Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com, bringing you a very special episode today. Today it's my 500th episode. I can't believe it. I've been around this long. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and it's really been a wild ride and a lot of fun. So I was trying to think of something special to do for my 500th video, and one thing I came up with I thought would be pretty cool. I'm blessed to have a lot of really cool friends in the industry and made a lot of great friends over the years. And it just happened the same time I was about to put out my 500th episode, I was tying at the International Fly Tying Symposium in New Jersey. So I figured what better thing to do than ask some of my friends to give a tip like I always try to do. My videos are always geared towards one thing, and that's making you a better tyer, trying to teach you a lesson, not so much patterns, but techniques, and build on the techniques and stack them up. For me, my biggest thing that I always press in my videos is use what you have. You guys know that. I'm a big stressor on use what you have. Say, for instance, you're tying a dry fly that calls for calf tail wings and you don't have any calf tail. Don't worry about it. You can use feathers, you can use any other material that works to tie split wings like that. You don't have to have exactly what the pattern calls for. The fish don't care. The fish can't tell if it's calf tail or not. They don't care, so use what you have. So I figured while I was at the show, I'd ask some of my friends if they had any tips like that. So here you're going to see, sit back and watch as I hang out with some of my buddies and have them give you tips on what can make you a better tyer.
Hey everybody, Brady Miller. My biggest tip or thing I try to remember when fly tying is thread pressure. You don't want to take forever on a fly, hour and a half, and whether a tooth's going to get in there, pick material out or something. My biggest thing is thread pressure, keeping a lot of tension on the thread, keeps the materials tight, and I think it makes a more durable fly in the end.
Just keep trying until you get it right. That's the way to go. Okay?
All right, congrats on video 500. This is Cheech from Fly Fish Food, and I'm stepping in here to give you a little tip. Tip is always be learning. No matter how good you get at this, there's always somebody out there that's going to do it better. So don't use that as a contention point. Use it to learn, ask questions. Sometimes you'll find someone that's younger than you and that's done it a lot less, but always be in learning mode because you'll learn stuff all the time.
Okay guys, so if I was to give you a quick tip, one of the things I learned a couple winters ago is to organize my fly boxes. I was always going to the fly shop, getting those flies, putting them in those little plastic bins, and next thing I know I've got 1,000 plastic bins because I was so excited to get to the river I forgot to put them in my fly box, and my flies got so disorganized. So I took a whole winter and I planned out what I wanted to do with my Euro nymphs and my nymphs specifically. I went on Facebook, I asked a bunch of friends if they had like their top 5 nymphs, what would they be, and I created my own list. And I reorganized my nymph box. This is an Orvis tacky box. I love the tacky boxes. And I just went right down. I started with like the pheasant tail, the pheasant tail, the Frenchie, and I got down into the Rainbow Warriors, the France fly. I went up here to the Perdigon, some Corona mids, and some different types of patterns that work well for me. My confidence flies, if you will. But just really for me, organizing my nymphs and organizing my flies, I did the same exact thing from my caddis box, and I did one for my dries as well. So now I have these 3 tacky boxes. I put them right in my vest, and I've got my nymphs, I've got my caddis, and I've got my dries. And for me, just organizing my nymphs, organizing my flies in general has been a major impact on helping me catch more fish on the water. I hope this tip helps you out, and I'd love to see you on the water.
All right. So what I'm doing right now is basically cleaning some of the hair at the back. So one thing that I learned about this is I'm making like a scum frog right now. As you can see, the hook is basically like free at the back. So this type of popper basically will be good around anywhere where you have a lot of heavy cover, for example like lily pad. And then the cool thing about this is what I learned is when you put something, a bead, okay, at the back that help kill this popper back again, toward where it's supposed to, like that in water. So this is not a finished product yet. This is a finished product, as you can see at the back. It's pretty cool.
Well, first of all, Sean, let me congratulate you on 500 videos on YouTube. That's that's an incredible mark to make. I know personally that that's a whole ton of work. As far as tips go, one of the things I've noticed over the years of teaching people fly tying is that even really good intermediate tyers sometimes have trouble dubbing. And there are just a couple of little easy tricks to help you out. So here's just a little fly tying tip. Sometimes even good tyers have some problems dubbing, and it takes practice, but real good tip for you is hold the bobbin in your left hand, really grip a clump of dubbing. This is rabbit fur dubbing, but it really works for any kind of dubbing, in the fingertips of your left hand, and pull straight up. So the fibers are roughly parallel to your tying thread. And that gives you so much more surface area to squeeze and get those firmly locked on. The other thing, and Tom Baltz taught me this years ago, is leave the bottom of that first clump untwisted, and so you can pull up a second clump, same idea, fibers parallel to your tying thread, and just kind of weave it in with the previous clump. And so you just go down your tying thread, continue doing that until you have a noodle established that looks to be about the right length for what you're going to need to form the body of the fly, and then start wrapping with it. Just those two things give you a nice, tight, cohesive noodle. So when you go to wrap, it'll form a really nice body or abdomen on the fly, whatever you're trying to do. Super simple, and you can apply that tip to so many different fly patterns. Works.
One tip I would share is, as you're tying, you're going to make mistakes along the way. And so don't be afraid, if something doesn't look very good, don't be afraid to unwrap everything and start over again. And then, if it doesn't work, you just keep going after it. And eventually you'll figure out how to do it. And, repetition is pretty much what you're going to need to do in order to get better at whatever you're tying.
Okay, this is for Sean's 500th video for a little tip from me. So, if you want to improve most of your tying, in generally anything that you're tying, learn thread control. If you watch my thread now, my bobbin will start spinning anti-clockwise. This is the thread repairing itself. So this is because every time you make one wrap around the hook shank, your thread twists naturally clockwise, one turn. So if you make 10 turns, you've twisted your thread 10 times, and you'll see it start repairing itself now. So after every 10 wraps or so, give your bobbin a spin, anti-clockwise, so it hangs still. But what also this does is, if you spin your bobbin anti-clockwise, if you don't spin your bobbin anti-clockwise, what happens if you want to tie something in? That's what happens when you lift your bobbin up. But if you repair your thread, it works perfectly for you. Spinning your bobbin anti-clockwise also gives you a flat profile. That you can split your thread, you can make a nice flat foundation. If you spin your bobbin clockwise, you get a round profile. Both these have significant uses in all fly tying. Learn your thread control.
Hey, I'm Joe Jackson. I don't have a voice right now. Tried to hang with the big guys here at the fly fishing show, and they drunk me under the table last night. But anyway, my hot tip for deer hair: when a lot of gals have issues with deer with their handling. They're trying to gingerly hold it. They're afraid to just beat it up. I think it's a lot easier to deal with if you just beat the crap out of it. Throw it on a hook. Don't baby it. It's hair. We're gonna cut it up, and it's gonna be 90% of it's gonna be on the floor. And I think most people's issues with deer hair is actually their handling. I think if you practice that, and you can start moving your hand back and forth, just doing that, being able to try to switch it around without losing too much is an excellent way to practice handling your deer hair. And you can do this with your junky hair so you're not wasting your good stuff.
All right, fly tying tips 101. You have to maintain your proportions. What do I mean by that? Whenever I tie a fly, I take it out of my vise, I go to put it into my box, I want it to look identical to the other flies that same size in my box. If something's not quite right, I may not have confidence in that fly. Will it still catch fish? Absolutely. I mean, we're out there to fish those flies. These fish aren't that smart, come on. However, if I look at that fly in my box and I say to myself, it doesn't look quite right to me, I'm probably not gonna put it on my line. Or if I do put it on the end of my tippet, I may not fish it with that same confidence, have it on there for a few casts, take it off and move to something else. So my tip for all you tyers out there, I don't care if you've been in this game for 1 year or 35 like me. Once you've tied a fly, if you're not happy with it, grab some type of blade, cut those materials off and retie that pattern. Speaking of tying, a huge shout out to Sean Holsinger. You made it to 500 videos on YouTube. So impressive, man. I mean, I am just so proud of you. Cheers, and here's to another 500.
Okay guys, I can't stress it enough. Thank you very, very much for supporting us over the years at this great project that we've been doing here with our videos. Like I said, it's hard to believe I have 500 YouTube videos out there, and who knows, maybe I'll get 500 more someday. I don't know. Good Lord willing, maybe we will. So anyways guys, thanks for watching all the time, and thanks for supporting our channel and shop. We couldn't do it without you guys. This is why we do it. We enjoy bringing you these videos, sharing the knowledge that God gifted us, and passing it on back to you guys. So thanks for watching guys. Until next week when I bring you another tie-in video, I'm Sean Holsinger.